So collections in Scala. So mainly you will have three types, main categories: sequence, map, and sets. Sequence is nothing but just a linear collection, meaning your array lists or your linked lists will come into this category, sequence. Okay. Map is nothing but a key value base, same like your Java maps, and sets also same like your Java sets, and without containing any duplicates. So here we call the sequence. Sequence is nothing but it's a main class for the lists, array lists or linked lists as well. Okay, so here we don't call it as array list, it's just simply a list class. That's it. If it is indexed by position, then it is a list. If it is a linear by one after the other, if we need to access that, then it's a linked list, same as it. And some other collection types that you might see some places are like tuples and option, sum and none. Here option means this is optional, either 0 or 1. Optional, it can have a value, or even not having a value is valid for it. So for option we have two subclasses, one is sum and second one is none. So sum means that one value and none means that 0 value. So this option means 0, 1 or 0. Here sum means that 1 and none means that 0. And some other collection types, last in first out stack and first in first queues are also supported. Option acts like a collection that contains 0 or 1 or element. Some class none objects extend option. Sum is a container for 1 element, whereas none holds 0 elements. So all these are of like mostly, even the sequence, the map and set, and all these are like homogeneous elements. That means at the time of declaration, if you specify map of string comma string, you should pass your keys as strings and values as strings. And similarly, the list of string, if you declare, you are allowed to put only the strings into that list. But so what I can say is all these collection categories are of like homogeneous elements. Similar data type elements can be stored there. But in tuples support heterogeneous collection of elements. You can put any data type of elements into one collection. It need not to be all the elements of same data type. Okay, so let me go through these examples one by one. And again, in collections Scala, by default, will get the, if you don't specify whether you need to import the mutable version or immutable version, so you will get the immutable version imported by default. So we have both mutable and immutable versions of each of them. Okay. And list, if you see here, this lists we have already seen. So Scala lists are quite similar to arrays, which means all the elements of a list have the same type. And yeah, so the difference is, I mean, you can treat this as like your lists in Java also, but in lists in Java are not immutable. If you want to add a new elements to the existing list, you can easily add to the existing list in Java. Whereas Scala list class is by default is immutable. And if you want a mutable version of list, yes, we have another way, that is ListBuffer. So this is like a val. Once declared, declared. And var version is ListBuffer. So acts like arrays, but not the arrays list, because arrays list are dynamic in size. This is val, and ListBuffer is there, like your string buffer, allowing your strings to be editable, mutable. So here we have ListBuffer. Okay. So that means if I declare this val fruit list of string, okay. Sorry. So to the same list, I can't add any more elements to this. So I can't add fruit dot add method, add to the list. Here we have plus or minus symbols, but your list is immutable. So similarly, val nums list of integers, I can declare this. An empty list, I can declare this. And two-dimensional list of int, I can provide this way. Now, so the other way of initializing your list is also this way. This is nil is an empty list, and concatenating that with another list with one element, PS. Now this is a new list now, and this new list concatenating with another list with one element, oranges, and this is now a new list. Okay, but this no one follows. Don't need to worry this much. So generally this is the syntax that we follow. Okay, but sometimes even if you come across this type of syntax, treat this as a list declaration, list initialization. Okay, so if you see this two colons, that is operator for concatenation of two lists. Here Pierce is a list with one element, and this nil is an empty list, and you have this because your double colon operator expects two lists to be parameters. So one is the input, the other one is the other second input. Okay, so I don't recommend you to use this type of syntax, but whenever you come across this type of syntax, don't assume this is something new. Okay, the same as your list declaration. And some of the basic operations that we have seen like already, the head to get the header.
We cannot use those dot kind of thing for integer, right?
Dot kind of thing for integer.
Like the four thing, or what do you say? For the list specification you did, no? Apples or
this one is allowed, right? Here you can see.
yeah, the second one. Once you do it in the console, no? It is not coming up. I guess.
It's not coming up.
Yeah, I think.
Let me.
Either for number or.
There might be some syntax error or something. So one, it came right.
For string?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, for the string or...
It will come for string also.
Mm,
Let me define this. Okay. But I don't recommend this because you'll end up in writing a lot of lines. I mean, lot of things here. This is simple to denote here.
maybe some wrong from my side.
Yeah,
Let me
maybe
check.
you might have missed one parenthesis somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me check.
That might be some syntax error.
Okay, thank you, Shiva.
Yeah. Okay. And basic operations on your lists. So head to get the first element and tail to get all the remaining elements other than the first element. And is empty to check whether this is empty or not. And a few more methods that we'll see in the next slide. Okay. So since list is immutable, so we can't actually add elements to it. Okay. Let's say I have var x list of 2. I can't add one more element, 1 to this. Let's say I can't have this nums equal to element prefixing, reassignment to val, because my nums list is val. So how can I do this? Val nums. Now this one more 1 prefix to this 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I can make it this. So redeclaring a one more val and prefixing is one way, but if you have many fields and creating a lot of variables is an issue, so that time obviously we should go for ListBuffer, editable, mutable flavor of this list. We need mutable lists. Yes, we need to import scala.collection.mutable.listBuffer, ListBuffer of string, and if it is fruits plus equal to apple, apple gets added to this, plus equal to banana, to the existing fruits list itself, banana gets added, plus equal to, I mean same like your fruits equal to fruits plus orange, and fruit plus equal to, you can even add multiple elements at a time. So this is multiple elements at a time, and you can remove a element from a list this way, so simple, minus equal to minus fruits equal to fruits minus apple, fruits equal to fruits minus banana comma orange, that is also fruits equal to fruits minus another list or another sequence of kiwi and pineapple. Okay. So I have this now. So if I imported this and I created a list buffer of this, it created with this mutable collection 1, fruits equal to fruits plus apple. Fruits dot, it should tell me. Otherwise, yeah, it looks like the same stuff. Let me try this. So collection mutable, type mismatch. So element type mismatch. So here type mismatch, same type. It's not treating this as a string. Or if I have to do it, let me with the same plus symbol. If I can't do this way, let me try converting this. Okay, it's okay. The only possible syntax is this one then. Okay. So not like your that. Okay, apple is added. So even banana is added. So and kiwi. And if you want to remove, minus. Again it came back to apple and banana. And if you want to add a list of fruits, it allowed you to do that, and minus also should do that. And even this sequence one, if it is already in another collection, instead of adding element by element, if you have another collection sequence, let's say sequence of this already into a list, this should be plus plus, and if it is a sequence, it should be minus minus. Okay, and yeah, concatenating two lists or sequences either by dot concat method or plus plus method or triple colon. Triple colon is concatenation of one list with other list, but double colon is concatenating one element to the list and resulting another list. Which is same as plus equal to an element. Okay, so list dot reverse, list dot add string, list dot contains to check whether this particular list contains a value or not, and copying that to array, list dot distinct only the distinct values, and list dot drop for dropping an element from the list. Okay, and similarly the sets. So same, set is a collection that contains no duplicate elements. Set 1357, this way val s equal to, and root equal set of apples, oranges and pears. The same like all your collection operations that you are able to do. So like in Java, do we have iterator for printing the list? Yes, we have. I'm going to tell that. Iterator is there, but we don't recommend to use that iterator. So same here, like root 1 plus plus root 2 sets. Try creation of val s equal to 1, 2, 3. So this is an immutable set. So what if you want to have a mutable set? Obviously go for S2 and call the Scala dot collection dot mutable dot set of this, or make it as a type of that. So if I don't have typo, oh,
Mutable.
oh, okay. Mutable is not a member of package collection. Yeah, either you can define this type this way. It's a type mismatch. So this is a mutable set. Now, into this set you can add elements and remove elements.
Question, Shiva.
Yes.
The val itself is immutable, right? Or
S2 val itself is immutable. Correct. Then we should declare this as a vars. I mean, as I was telling you, by default, I mean, as I used to type these things, the way we go it is private in Java. We write vals here. Okay, and if you type S2 plus equal to, yeah, let me try what will happen on this. 5. So S2 dot type result is written 13452. So here mutable set assigning to a val. So this is acting like a var only.
okay.
Ideally, how you should define is var and have your mutable set. Okay. Yeah, but it is allowing you to do that as well. Since you specified it as a mutable set, so it's allowing you to do this mutation of this set.
Okay.
Okay. Mutable set can be created. Otherwise, by default, you will get the immutable set. Okay, next. Yeah, same like set.min, make string, remove, size, take. So all these methods, they are self-explanatory. Okay, I don't need to spend much time on explaining it. Map, same like your Java maps, key value pairs. And keys are unique in the map, but values need not to be unique. Okay. By default, immutable maps will be created. For mutable, we need to import it and use var. Right? Same way. There. Also, let's make it like a practice. Otherwise, it will be more confusing. Mutable set can be created with we need to import. So val states map of your key value pair specifying in Scala is simple. Key, your AL, state code. State code is key and state full form is the val Alabama. And AK for Alaska. So defining two key value pairs. So by default it created me immutable map. It created an immutable map. So if you want to have mutable one, so we should specify that and declare that as a var. You see, make it as a var. And okay. So what will happen if I make it as val? Even here it accepted. For mutable collections, it's both the val and var are acting the same way. Since you are explicitly telling it as it's mutable, I think it's how that is how it's handled. Okay. Now you can use plus equal to, minus equal to those things to add a key value pair or remove a key value pair. And to loop through the keys, your map.keys is the method that you can call. And for each is on that you can call. So this will print all the colors. So all the colors that sorry, there were a lot of spaces and enters there. That's why this suggestions. So it printed these values here. So added a key value pair. This is a key, arrow value, key, arrow value, and key, arrow value. To get the keys, I have map.keys method. And on keys to process through each of the elements, I have a for each. And this inside this, I'm just printing this key and value of it. Colors of key. If I pass the key, I will get the value of it.
Key value can be any type of data type, right?
It can be of any data type. Okay. So next, tuples. Yes, for tuples, just simply assigning them. That's it. Val t equal to, so 1 hello or 1 hello comma a. So either you should tell as new tuple 2 or tuple 3 if you have two elements. Either you should tell it as a pair or tuple 2. That is also optional. Val t equal to new pair of 10 comma employee, let's say if it is employee ID comma name, this Ramesh. Warning, there was one deprecation warning. We run with deprecation details. So this is created as a tuple int comma string. This is a heterogeneous collection. So even if you don't specify this, this gets created tuple, same stuff. And if you want to have a salary also added to this tuple 3, salary some 15,000, let's say. Okay, set again with him, and you can omit this. This new parameter, new operator is not needed for this. You can simply declare this as this way. And some age 35 if you want to add, I added. Okay. Some description again. Role. So you can keep on creating your elements this way. Okay. And there is a limitation for your case class, this tuple size. So these tuples get implemented. So the reason why we don't need this new operator is they have implemented it by case classes, and case classes have the default limitation of 22 elements. And that how to overcome that limitation, I will explain you that with the help of Spark SQL. There we might need that scenario. Explaining that in that case makes more sense. So you can declare tuples with up to 22 elements.
So what is the tuple 2 and tuple 3, Shiva?
Tuple 2 means it is of two element size. 2 elements I am declaring here, and 3 elements I am declaring here. Either you explicitly tell it as 3 element tuple by using this class name, or even if you leave that, obviously it will create this. See.
Okay, it defines a number of parameters.
What is it?
I mean, you define the number of parameters as a number.
This is not defining number of parameters. If you call this will actually create an object of this tuple 5. There is a tuple class.
Oh.
These both are same. Since you have 5 elements, it will make a call to this tuple 5 object, and it creates the object of this number of parameters.
Okay, sure.
Hiding those things in backend, so you can always use this way. How many other elements you want, put them in parentheses, just assign them to some value or something. Okay. So that's about tuples. Next, iterator. Someone asked me iterator. Yes, same like on your list or anything. The to iterator is the method that you can call, and you can loop through that iterator. it.hasNext, iterator.hasNext, until it has next element. You can print the next element, print element of itx. It prints me 1, 2, 3. But even though it is available in Scala, it's not a good idea to do this, because in your map method or for each methods, so we know the map method on list, right? That gets applied on each and every element. So whatever the function that you provide there, that will be applied there in collections to iterate them. And this is the most used one to iterate through each and every element of your list or in collection. Generally, we use map methods instead of getting the iterator and looping through the iterator till it ends. This will be completed by just one call, whereas you need to provide this much. And also, Yeah, iterator is useful only in some cases where you are going to read through line by line of a file. Using iterator is when reading file, because putting all file data into in memory is not a good idea. This is in case if you are reading a file in Scala line by line, but whereas in our case Spark, it reads the entire file into in memory. So we always see, you will always observe map methods being called on collections. Map method being called on collections to process through each of elements. Okay. And for each of this println, it prints all these elements. Map, for each of these elements, it keeps on adding +2, 3, 4, 5. And filter, we have seen already these things. Okay. So if it is divisible by 2, then that remainder is 1. That means this is odd number. Then only it capture that into the result. Reduce, apply this sum operation for every 2 elements that it come across. And this is 2 elements, 3, and 3, 3, 6. And all of these methods leave the original list unchanged. This list will be as it is, but the result of the method applying on this, you will be capturing into another list. Even in map, this list will not get changed. You will collect that into another list.